Welcome to Tough Track. This is the Texas Stadium, home of the Dallas Cowboys. I'm Chris Chapman, and I'm in a stagecoach right now that has a ride that's smooth in comparison to that of the high-flying monster trucks coming your way next on Tough Track.
Hi again, everyone. I'm Scott Douglas. Welcome to Tough Tracks. We're back at Texas Stadium in Irving, Texas, just outside of Dallas for the second straight week on a historic course. And we'll talk more about three-lane racing in just a moment. But if you were with us last week, you know the big story was TNT's decision to ban Bigfoot 8 from competition. The truck that had dominated 1990 racing was not able to run here a week ago and for the foreseeable future. But TNT also, as we told you last week, was working on a way to get Bigfoot 8 back in competition. In just a moment, Chris Chapman will update us on the status of the Bigfoot question in TNT monster truck racing. Now, the three-lane course last week was the first time ever it was run, and the winner was certainly a surprise. Doug Spanier, the master of disaster, beat all of the superstars and came away with an historic victory. Army Armstrong is standing by with Doug Spanier right now.
Well, thanks, Scott. As you all know, this week we're standing under the big stars in Texas, and the man who was a star last week, the same event in Texas, took the big win. The master of disaster, Doug Spanier. And Doug, you proved something to a lot of people, that being you don't have to run this circuit all the time to be a winner on this circuit.
No, I sure don't. We're doing a lot of practice, beefing up the truck and the weaker areas, getting all the bugs out of it, and to bring it out and really show people what it can do with it.
Last week was the first time in the history of the sport that monster trucks ran three at a time. Lane choice seemed to be important. Chassis was important. They were having some problem with the air. But you seemed to overcome a lot of adversities to take a win. One of the adversities was an almost flip in that semifinal round. At one time last week, it didn't look like you had a chance to be a winner, but you turned it all around.
Yeah, the semifinal round, I figured I was going to come out of there with a rolled-over truck before I got the thing stopped, but I came down hard on my right front, just staring right at the ground. Got in it and pulled it out all right.
What caused the truck to do that? Qualifying, it didn't do it. First round, it didn't do it. But, boy, the third time you came out, it looked like a different truck.
I ran third gear. I caught third gear going just into the second set of cars, and that pushed me enough to where when I landed, my front tires slapped the ground. They completely missed all 12 cars, and it slapped the ground, and the rebound shot up in the air that much.
All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, that's what's going to be going on this portion of the program. Let's check with Chris Chapman and find out what else we're going to be looking at today.
Thanks, Army. Here's an update on TNT's decision to ban Bigfoot 8, the innovative new truck that's been dominating the circuit in recent weeks. Based upon information from several other drivers about their new trucks who say that they're going to be ready to compete in several weeks, TNT will then let Bigfoot 8 return. Now the situation TNT is focusing on is rules. They want to ensure parity and competitiveness in the sport. So the first rule that's going to be changed after this week is limiting engines to 500 cubic inches. Then they're going to center on suspension. Are they going to let all the trucks come up to par with Bigfoot 8, or are they going to cut it off there, or will the sky be the limit? Only time will tell. Back to you, Scott and Army.
A week ago, our first three-way racing in Dallas, Texas, and the banning of Bigfoot allowed Equalizer to close in a little bit, but Auto Value King Crush made up a bunch of ground. Carolina Crusher and Awesome Kong also are staying within sight. Now, the Gravedigger remains in the number 6 spot, but Dennis Anderson has really been struggling lately, and last week did not even make a qualifying attempt. USA 1, Buffalo Tremor, Nightlife, and the Outlaw remain in the top 10 as we go to week number 2 on the first ever three-lane monster truck course in Dallas, Texas. It's Texas Stadium, actually in Irving, just outside of Dallas. All right, we open the qualifying round with last week's winner, the master of disaster, the Clydesdale and Wild Hair, Marvin Smith, the old stopper truck. He's out of Arnold, Missouri. Clydesdale out of Georgia. Masters out of Minnesota.
Got all three of them lead side by side. Clydesdale starts to move out a little bit in the middle. Now we've got some problems on the other end of the track. Clydesdale gets tagged on the end and going over.
It was Wild Hair losing control and smashing in to Clydesdale, but the damage is done to Bennett Clark's truck as he is on his roof. Wild Hair could not get stopped. He went out of control. Bennett Clark had a nice run and was just sitting there, and Wild Hair, out of control, came over, smacked the Clydesdale, and on its roof, the truck from Georgia went. I think we're going to get a look at a replay. The word we're getting is that Bennett Clark is okay. They're talking to Bennett. And, of course, one of the problems right now is he's harnessed in upside down, and they're trying to get Bennett out of the truck. But the word, there he is indeed. Matter of fact, that's Army down there helping to pull him out. As Army down there getting ready to do interviews, thought he was just going to do some nice, calm, simple interviews. Instead, he's in the middle of a crash scene. Now, watch the end of the run, folks. Wild Hair just loses control, and Clydesdale was trying to go out of the building, and he gets rammed by the Wild Hair and Marvin Smith. One of the most unbelievable qualifying attempts ever. And Bennett Clark, you can see that he is shook up, but he looks okay. And I think right now he's trying to say, what happened, why did it happen, and where did we go wrong? I just thought I had a good qualifying run. Bennett acknowledging the cheers of the crowd is obviously everybody happy to see he's okay. Army's going to talk right now to Bennett Clark about that flip.
First of all, Bennett, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm okay, Army.
You have any idea what caused it? Have any idea it was coming?
Well, right at the last minute, I looked to my left. I saw him coming. I just full throttled and tried to get ahead of him. I thought I was going to get just ahead of him. I didn't think he was going to hit me. And then all of a sudden, he hit me. It started over, so it got too far over. I knew I had to let out of gas.
I'm going to ask you something that I heard a minute ago. Were you aware they cut these ramps different today? Did anybody tell you this is not the same track you ran on last week?
Well, I was aware of it. I looked at the second ramp. I knew I was going to catch a little bit more air than what we did at the last race. So, you know, I was expecting a little bit of air, but I wasn't expecting to roll over.
I'm glad to see that smile. We're sorry for the bad luck, but I'm sure you'll turn it around.
Thank you, Armin.
So the Clydesdale Chevrolet of Bennett Clark out of Georgia is on its roof. And there's the guy who put him there, although you know it wasn't intentional. It's not like he went over to get him, but the Wild Hair went out of control, and Marvin Smith's truck smacked into him, and now they'll pull the Clydesdale and try to get that truck righted. But who knows how long it's going to be before Bennett Clark is able to get that truck back together. Boy, you can see the substantial damage. Army has worked his way over to find out from Marvin Smith what went wrong.
Marvin, do you have any idea what caused this? We just talked to Bennett. First of all, he's okay. I want you to know that.
I'm glad.
No hard feelings or anything, but man, you know, there's only one door here, and you both were trying to get through that sucker in a hurry.
Well, what happened, Army, we just got so much speed, we were flying through there. We just had a hard time slowing down. And I really don't know, other than we were both under control. We just couldn't shut him down.
He said that he was actually trying to gas it. He could see you coming. He said, I was trying to beat you to the door. Man, it looked like trying to put a round peg in a square hole right there.
Yeah, I was trying to get off of it. I was trying to stop. I started when I come off the end of the car, I was trying to come down on it. I just couldn't get stopped. I had the brakes out. You know, I was doing all I could do. You can see the skid marks. You know, so. Okay.
Well, Bennett Clark was shaken up, but he knew he was okay when he was in the truck. His wife, Jennifer Clark, had to be one scared lady. Chris Chapman has found her. Chris?
And it obviously upsets Jennifer Clark, wife of Bennett Clark. We saw him go upside down. Jennifer, what was going through your mind?
Well, I was sitting there and I was watching the big screen TV, and I saw him, I think he crossed across the finish line first, and then I looked down, and Marvin came from the side, and he rolled over, and everything I told him just went whoosh. That scared me to death.
As a wife, what's going through your mind now? You might be coming back. What will you think then?
Well, it's not his driving, it's the other drivers that scare me. Just try to stay clear of them.
I guess there is no better time than to come up with a Nintendo Power Play. Army, I've seen a lot of wild rolls and wrecks in monster truck racing, but this one just shocked you because you didn't expect it. You thought the race was over, then all of a sudden, boom, over we go.
Oh, he blindsided him. You don't get any cleaner than that. He just nailed him in the driver's door. But, you know, we're getting the word. They're trying to get that truck back ready for first round, Scott. We'll keep the people up to date on that action.
Hey, Bennett Clark Nintendo says, now you're playing with power. Well, hey, they had qualifying time, and look at this. If he does get it back together, he's going to get a good assignment because Clydesdale easily beat last week's winner and the Wild Hair. Man, oh man. Here comes Gravedigger. We go from one story to the next. Last week, Dennis Anderson could not even get started at the line. Let's see what he does today.
He's trying to get the truck ironed out. The problem he's having is consistency, and when you go into the lanes, there's three of you. One of them's Awesome Kong, the other one's Nightlife, and you're the third man. You don't need to be having problems. You need to be able to concentrate on making a good run. Anderson has not had that pleasure all year long. Something has a tendency to go away, and it might just happen again this time. Keep an eye on him. It's an old Chevrolet. Three side-by-side shimmies. Hey, Gravedigger's looking good. He's staying tough. He's hanging with him.
Wow, Dennis Anderson with a good, strong run.
Yeah, he's having trouble getting shut out. I don't know why they're having so many problems getting these trucks stopped, Scott.
Hey, the fans at Texas Stadium are rocking and rolling, and they love the Gravedigger. Dennis Anderson put down a shot. Now, he and Nightlife crossed the finish line together. Let's see the times. So you can see Nightlife got in by 6/100th, but that's a good qualifying time for Dennis Anderson. Hey, the Gravedigger may be ready to come out and go after these guys today.
Well, even the losing around a 689, there's nothing in the world wrong with this blast under 7 seconds. Now, this could be an interesting story coming out here. I want you to watch the truck in the middle. Last week was the first time out with it. Mike Wine said, we've got the hot hand. We've got the good combinations. We're going to go to the winner's circle. Let's see if this qualifying round can be the first step there. Look at the lead, boy. He comes down the middle like a rocket. Meanwhile, they're trying to pull back on the motor close side. Scott Stevens, the long, tall Texan, pulls it back on the big end.
A problem, though, for the Outlaw. He broke on the course. So Scott Stevens and Mike Wine, two of the finalists from a week ago, in that qualifying run. Stevens looked good, but the Outlaw never finished the run. King Crunch with an excellent time, 6.29, same time that you saw Gravedigger have a minute ago. More qualifying in a moment, but we want to run out to the pits right now. Chris Chapman, I understand, is standing by with Marvin Smith, the driver of the Wild Hair, with more news.
Marvin, it looks like Bennett Clark's truck is not hurt as badly as you, and he went over.
Well, what happened, Chris, was we were going so fast I couldn't stop, and he tried to gas and get out of my way. I was headed for the door, and I couldn't get there. He gassed it, got right in front of me. I think my truck is ruined. I'm about to go home and build a new truck.
Are you really going to build another Wild Hair?
Yes, I am. I'm going to have to at least put a new frame on. I broke the frame right in half.
Tough Tracks is brought to you by Nintendo, makers of the Nintendo Entertainment System and the world's largest and most exciting library of great games. Nintendo, now you're playing with power. I don't know how much action 1 hour can hold, but you're going to find out with us right here on Tough Tracks because it's already hot and heavy, and we have just got underway at Texas Stadium. 3 lanes of qualifying. Buffalo Tremor will now come out with the defending world champion Equalizer and the new Micro Machine. Now, the Micro Machine is a brand new truck built by John Breen of Mad Dog fame. The Micro Machine truck is driven by Kurt Fisher. Army, the story on Kurt Fisher.
Well, he's an ex-mud racer, world champion in mud racing. John Breen brought him over to drive this truck, and it's going to be a goer. Only the second week out, that truck is running and impressing a lot of people. Meanwhile, in the middle lane, the kid that took over the world championship truck, the Equalizer, he's got a brand new paint job on that truck, so he looks new. The only thing consistent this round is the Buffalo Tremor of Johnny K. And look at the Micro Machine go out, but in the middle, the Equalizer muscles and wins.
Greg Holbrook really getting a feel for this course. He had a problem a week ago that he said wasn't his fault. He said somebody detonated the killer radio. That cost him big time if that's what happened. And it looks like the Equalizer is going to make some hay.
Oh, look at these times, Scott.
But notice the Micro Machine. The Micro Machine broke quick last week. Good, strong time for Kurt Fisher, under 6.5 seconds.
Here's the story we started the show off all about. Big John's going to be driving Bigfoot 4. You notice the missing of the yellow and the red stripe down the side of the truck that you've been watching the circuit on television with us. You knew the new truck, Bigfoot 8, was a race truck. This is Bigfoot 4. It is not designed to do this, but it does it awfully well.
He's side by side with old nemesis USA. Look out, Steve Wilkie. Oh, my. Steve Wilkie has gone into a generator that runs the laser light show at this TNT event and into the 45-second clock that Danny White and all the Cowboys, Troy Aikman and other quarterbacks look down there to find out the clock during a football game, and Steve Wilkie has gone through that 45-second clock.
He reminds me of my drill sergeant. He's still barking orders right now. He believes he's still in this. He is. Look at this. Wilkie is pumped. He's going to be back with that USA 1. That was just qualifying. Look at the bounce. This track is really weird. They're taking strange bounces and some heads-up driving by the Bigfoot driver, I might add, right there.
Yeah,
we
nice
could have had
job.
a disaster.
Yeah, John Pyatt got on the binders quick, but look at USA 1 smashing through a generator. Look at him scattering that in section as he then took out the scoreboard. It's a clock, 45-second clock that was covered over by wood. Hopefully that'll keep it from being damaged too much, but Wilkie flat went through it.
Plus, you notice the straw that's sitting at the end of the track. Those are 1,000-pound straw bales that they're bouncing into. That's how hard these guys are running. You don't, there ain't no easy way to do this. You got to go hard.
Hey, Army, the racing's going to have to go some to top this qualifying round. USA 1 with that run, the fastest time so far. Chris Chapman's going to catch up with Steve Wilkie in the pits and see what's going on.
I didn't roll it.
Steve, what happened out there?
It's quick. You're going fast. I'm sorry, Chris. It just got to bouncing. I don't know. I think I cleared the last stack. She bounced, and I wasn't going over, Chris. I hammered it and then drove it out, and I tagged the wall. It's something I should have done a couple weeks ago in Roanoke. So I did right. We'll be back.
I understand they rebuilt the ramps today. They're steeper. Is that a factor?
Well, what happens, Chris, after you race on them for a night, the dirt gets pushed back down to the bottom of the ramp. And what they did actually is they pushed it up to the ramp. They didn't make them any steeper, I don't think. I made all kinds of horsepower. I turned about 7,300 RPM on the pass. Went to high gear and she just laid it down. Bigfoot, all he saw was my tailgate. I'm sorry.
There's the word from Steve Wilkie, and I'll tell you, the rivalry between USA 1 and Bigfoot renewed now. But again, that's the Bigfoot 4 truck with John Pyatt, and he did a masterful piece of driving to avoid a collision at the end of that run. But hey, Wilkie is flat putting it on the edge. All right, next qualifying, the lady out of Arizona in the truck closest to you. That's Arlene Ed. She's in the Fanatic. Carolina Crusher in the middle, and the Tough Enough Ford on the far side.
Look at the little lady. She's hanging on, sitting in the number 2 spot. Carolina Crusher takes the win. But she was right there hammering on that door.
And again, this is qualifying, and she did a marvelous job of sticking with the Carolina Crusher. This lady, look at that time for Arlene Ed at 6.42.
She's a good monster truck driver.
Carolina Crusher, though, the fastest of that trio with a 6.36 try. There's Bennett Clark, a former Brahma bull rider. We're going to find out if he can get back in the saddle. After an almost indescribable qualifying round, here are the times. USA 1 with the fast time, even though he did end up in the 45-second clock. Bigfoot 4, look at John Pyatt coming back, second fastest. Then the world champion equalizer, Nightlife, and Gravedigger coming back strong. He and King Crunch have the 5th fastest time. Okay, here we go, side by side, 3 at a time, first round of competition. Most of these trucks will advance into the quarterfinals.
All the trucks leave side by side. Chevrolet on the middle lane, Chevrolet in the left lane. Chevrolet's going to take the win, and both drivers get them shut out, but Wilkie again. Well, Wilkie's taking the USA 1 to the limits. He didn't stop. He just motored out the door.
I don't know. I didn't see, and Steve may come over and hit me after I say this, I didn't see the same aggressive Steve Wilkie that we saw in the qualifying one. Let's watch it on the replay, Armin.
Right now, Scott, what you have to remember, he does not have to win this round in order to come back.
You're right. They're both going to come back, but Crusher got the win over Wilkie.
Gary, you're going into the next round, but this is a tough, tough night of monster truck racing.
It is. It's very tough. You know, all the big-name trucks are here in the competition. Is really getting tough this year. And qualifying, you know, we had a couple of accidents, and I really didn't like the lane I was qualifying in, so I just sort of laid back and thought I'd come back in competition, eliminations, and give it 100%.
Do you think this might be a night where the smooth truck is going to win, not necessarily the fast truck? The fast truck will get in trouble?
I think it can on this course right here. We get a good bit of air, and a real fast truck, you know, could get in trouble.
Let's run out to the pits right now. Chris Chapman is standing by with Steve Wilkie, and I know he didn't have to go all out, but I say he looked a little gun-shy in that run. Let's see what Chris can find out.
Steve, do you think that hitting the wall during qualification hurt you during first round competition? You got beat.
Well, I didn't get beat by much, Chris. We go out there, and because I did hit the wall, I wasn't going all out. I wanted to see what the truck would do. I wanted to see it would stay together. You know, it was the first two people advanced. As long as I advance, that's all I'm worried about. The thing about it is that I knew Carolina was quick. I wanted to give him a good run, make him work hard, and in that, fill out our truck, and we'll be back to run as hard as we can next time. The True Value Mastercraft Chevrolet is out here to win in Texas.
All right, this matchup will just have two trucks because of some early breakage in qualifying, so Nightlife comes out against Buffalo Trimmer. In all, 16 trucks have advanced to this round.
Okay, now what's going to happen here? Both of these trucks we will see again, but they're both trying to use this as a test run. Why, they look like ballerinas. They look like they're dancing together. They just drove it on through. They'll both be back.
By a hair, Johnny K in the Buffalo Trimmer, well, maybe by a bale of hay he actually won it by. You could see he ended up on top of it. He gets the win over Dave Wysorek in Nightlife. But again, as Army pointed out, both the trucks are going to be coming back. So the most important thing to both of them is that they were able to stay together. Here's Johnny K.
Congratulations go out to John Kwasniewski. Knocks off a very strong running Dave Wysorek in Nightlife. How do you feel?
Pretty good. We've been running strong so far during the beginning of the season, and I think we can pull it off.
Do you believe that this tunnel is presenting some problems for the Buffalo Trimmer?
Yeah, it is. The brakes are getting hot when we're going down the tunnel because we have to wait for the other trucks to come down, and it's really slowing us down there a bit. They're just overheating a little bit, but they'll be all right.
We've been keeping Chris busy back in the pits, and just a moment ago before that interview, she spent some time with Bigfoot's John Pyant talking about the problems that truck's been having.
John, two front steering cylinders bent. What's that mean?
When me and Steve were running, I had to get on the brakes real hard because we were kind of coming in together. And what I did is I got on the brakes too hard and wound the front springs up, and the traction bars hit the steering rams and bent both of them, and we broke a shock and bent the traction bars and just pretty much messed up the whole front end. But we got back together, and the Ford Bigfoot will be back.
So you're getting ready to run again. Are you going to have any brakes?
Yeah, with the brakes, everything is all right. Just the steering is messed up, and we got to replace. Now I don't have any rear steering, but straight line course, you don't need it.
He has to have brakes for the TNT officials. They brake test them as they come out onto the track, so he would not be allowed to race if he could not get it stopped coming in.
You're exactly right there, and that's a sign of youth. That guy's going to the starting line, going to learn another man's wall. He's not sure if he's going to steer. Only a young guy will do that, Scott. Look at this. He not only does it, he takes the win.
And once again, we see that the Barbarian gave him a run, but the victory goes to Bigfoot and John Pyant out of St. Louis, Missouri. So John gets himself a victory. We'll look at it again as we watch Bigfoot number 4 running while there's a dispute in the fact that Bigfoot 8 having to sit out under TNT's ban. But there, Pyant got himself a win. Army's going to talk to Bigfoot's driver.
John, as soon as you came in after the win, you immediately started barking out orders. It sounds like you got all kinds of problems. What's going on?
Yeah, in the first round, we got on the brakes a little bit hard and wound up the front springs. I turned the axle so far that the steering cylinders hit on the traction bars. I bent both of them. We was up there, we pulled the ones off the rear, put them on the front, put a solid bar in the rear, and just then when I hit third gear, it started slipping. I think transmission's going.
So there's a chance you might not be back in the next round?
Yeah, unfortunately, I think so.
We'll let you get outside. Hope we do see you back in the round. You're doing a good job.
Thank you.
This course and this competition is taking its toll on the superstars of monster truck racing. Bigfoot is not the only one struggling to get back. Out in the pits, we understand that the Outlaw crew is feverishly working. There's Mike Wine and the gang. We'll be right back to find out if Wine and the Outlaw can make it into the first round. Welcome back to Tough Tracks as Texas Stadium goes wild. The reason they're going wild, the Clydesdale rides again after flipping in qualifying when he was knocked onto his roof by the wild hair. Bennett Clark stands a little sheet metal. Nonetheless, he is back and he is ready to go racing. Wow.
Well, Scott, like you said, this guy's a Brahma bull rider. You get thrown off, you get right back on. That's exactly what he's doing.
But Dennis Anderson won't make it. Here's Chris Chapman with the Gravedigger.
Dennis, what happened out there?
I don't know. We got ready to run, and we sat there and messed around the line so long I couldn't get the truck cranked, but something was wrong with it before I even went in the building. I ain't had nothing but tough luck all weekend. I'm getting fed up now. You know, that's it.
Well, a disgusted Dennis Anderson.
Tell you, no words tell the story there, don't they, Scott?
Absolutely, and the digger's done for the night. Master of Disaster and the Clydesdale.
Coming out, wheels up. Disaster on the far side. Clydesdale pushing to the left. Look at this. Clydesdale takes the win. Do you believe in miracles? Look at that.
He won it. Coming back from landing on his roof. Bennett Clark and Clydesdale get the win, and they love it at Texas Stadium. And not only did he get the win, he beat last week's winner here at Texas Stadium.
And he beat him handily. Look at this. It's almost like he's possessed, like he knows the truck can't hurt him now, and he's going to drive it out the back door. Look at this.
Bennett Clark out of Powder Springs, Georgia, puts it back together and puts it in the win column. He beats the Master of Disaster, head up, and a big roar as he gets out of the truck from an appreciative crowd at Texas Stadium.
Bennett, it's been a long night in Texas. What's new, son?
Dude, it's a tough night out here.
The truck looks good. You got the confidence back. They say you always got to get back up on that rascal rider. You're an old bull rider. That's exactly what you're doing.
Yeah, I like to ride. I like driving monster trucks. That's just like getting towed off the bull. You just get back on it and go again.
Well, you see the tapping foot right now. That's inside the Equalizer Chevrolet, and it's the foot of Greg Holbrook, the kid on the spot, driving the World Championship truck. Here's a great matchup. He'll go up against Mike Wine, the Outlaw, and Kurt Fisher with that new micro machine.
Fisher, Wine, and the kid. Keep an eye on Holbrook. He'll work. Now look at this. He's starting to come back on him. Whoa, looky here. The new glue micro machine really ran hard, but he breaks something. Holbrook, he stays alive, and the Ford, just not going to be the day for Wine.
Man, side by side, the micro machine and the Equalizer. Here's another one too close to call. Now, let's take a look and see if maybe the replay can help us as Army works his way over. They come, there's the finish line, and they hit it right there together. Army is over with Greg Holbrook. Let's see what the word is there.
Greg, we're keeping an eye on a replay screen here. It looked like it was so close. We don't have any idea who won. Do you have any idea?
No, I couldn't tell. I mean, it felt real good. They got the ramp set up where you're just getting all kinds of air tonight.
What is the ramp? Everybody keeps talking about the ramps. The bounces that are coming at the end look like they're putting you in a whole lot of trouble. What I'm saying is brakes don't work when you're 4 feet in the air, do they?
No, you just got to wait to get landed and get squared away for you and start stopping, or you just tear up parts.
We're waiting for the replay to come up. They're going to give us an announced winner in a second. Boy, it is close.
I got it.
You're on the far side. Keep an eye on it.
I got him by a wheel.
Greg Holbrook tells you, I got him by a wheel. The exact quote.
You know, you get around these races like we do, you get a feeling about them. That young man has got a great future in this sport. You can feel the confidence coming. Now, speaking of confidence, look at these two old tough Texans. They're going head-to-head right now.
Last race of the first round, Scott Stevens, the Auto Value King Crunch, Steve Kane, and Awesome Kong.
Stevens trying to hold it straight. He does a good job. It looks like that the Awesome Kong vehicle had a little bit of problem with an engine.
Scott Stevens takes the win in King Crunch. The Auto Value Special getting the victory. Let's watch it again.
Well, the replay comes up. Keep an eye on the far lane. Blue Death Smoke tells the story. Scott Stevens advances out of the near lane, ready for the next round.
He was in the finals a week ago, and he's running strong tonight.
Well, Scott, I know you're anxious to get back in there, but you did not believe you would get through round after round tonight, and you're the Texas State champion, if we can say so.
Yeah, you know, if we can just keep the truck together, you know, and the main thing is I just want everybody to see out there that's been watching all these TV races, and, you know, Bigfoot's been dominating for all this year, and now he's racing with a truck that's equal to everybody's. 2 weeks in a row, he hadn't got past the first round. So, you know, it's like 89. He didn't have a truck that was equal to everybody. He stayed home and built something to be 10 years ahead of us, and he can't run with us with equal equipment. Hey, the Auto Value King Crunch Special, we're ready to go. Yeah, our truck's just like everybody else's. You know, we're just trying real hard.
You will have no trouble finding out where Scott Stevens stands on the Bigfoot question. Here's where the Major League of Monster Truck Racing is coming. Look for it in your town. Tough Tracks with the TNT Monster Truck Challenge is joy in beautiful Dallas, Texas, just outside in Irving, Texas Stadium, the site for three-lane racing with the TNT monster trucks. About to go in to the quarterfinal round of competition, but Army Armstrong says there's a reason we're seeing wilder rides and faster times tonight.
Well, the surface you run on in any kind of motorsport's awfully important. Monster truck racing is no different. You might think because these trucks run the big tires that the clay surface they run on doesn't make it a bit of difference, but believe me, these guys are having a headache. This clay in Texas is just as hard as a rock. All the drivers are trying to figure out gear ratios, tire pressure, and everything. It may look like dirt, but it's from concrete tonight. It's tough Texas concrete.
There was a lot of rain the week leading up to this event, but all day today, Army, it just baked. And again, Texas Stadium, it's an open-air stadium, and the sun baked this course all day long.
Well, what happens, and Wilkie's getting upset. These guys are sitting on that starting line a long time. The engines are hot. But what happens, the big tires cannot dig into the clay, see? Now, Wilkie is he's becoming irate sitting up there, Scott.
Well, Awesome Kong is not ready. He has 5 minutes to get ready to go. Steve Wilkie doesn't like it a bit. Hey, let's go to the crunch of the week.
Hold on to your seats for the amazing crunch of the week. Brought to you by Micro Machines, the #1 colossally collectible vehicles in the world. If it doesn't say Micro Machines, it's not the real thing.
Let's go back to the wild qualifying round run of Steve Wilkie in USA 1. You talk about a crunch of the week. It's crunch at the end of Texas Stadium. Crunch. Wow. Steve Wilkie took out a generator, took out a 45-second clock for Troy Aikman. If he runs out of time this year during the football season, you'll know why. Steve Wilkie took his clock out. Man, oh man.
It's called cleaning your clock on that run right there.
Steve Wilkie's USA 1, the crunch of the week. Well, Kong is not going to make it, my friend. His 5 minutes is up. And it's going to be USA 1 going at it with Carolina Crusher.
Hey, Scott, something is going on here, though. Andy Brass, the driver of Bigfoot 8, is trying to help Awesome Kong on the far side. He was trying to help him. Now we go back to the race, and Wilkie muscles that USA 1 bad bounce. Bad bounce again, and Wilkie's in trouble.
This time, it's a junk car that finally stops the True Value USA 1. Man, oh man, this guy is just putting run after run together. He avenges his first-round loss to the Crusher, and this time, I am not going to say Steve Wilkie looked gun-shy. He went full tilt.
Yeah, that was a full boogaloo double throw-down wall slapper right there. Look at this.
I got 10-1. You can't say that again. You're right. Here's Chris Chapman with Gary Porter.
Gary Porter, a very tight race out there. How'd it feel?
It was. The truck, took a little bounce between the two sets of cars, and, I lost some time there, and that's where USA 1 went by me to take the win.
It was a very close race. Did you feel like you had it?
It was very close. I knew it was real close, and I didn't know, who had won when I got to the end.
Well, maybe you'll come back as a fast loser. Good luck.
I hope so, and, maybe I'll get another shot at them tonight.
Army, we're seeing it all in Texas Stadium. This is your basic reverse gear tonight for Bigfoot. The truck is running. Bob Chandler, Andy Brass, some of the guys are there to push him backward. The truck is running, and the truck is ready to go, but it can't back up.
Yeah,
John Payne says, I don't need to back up.
Everything's legal. It's all right. They can do that, but they came out and said, hey, we lost reverse. We got to back it up. TNT people said, okay, let's go. Chevrolet closer to the screen. Watch for it. Comes out. Like those muscle. Bigfoot trying to come on him. Not going to do it. Nebraska Chevrolet goes into that next round.
Bigfoot, frankly, was lucky to even be able to make the race. The win goes to Dave Wysorek and Nightlife. Chris Chapman is in the pits with Steve Wilkie. She's checking on the condition of USA 1.
Was the throttle stuck at one point?
Yeah, it was there's two sets of butterflies in those Predator carburetors, and when I hit the wall evidently the first time, the whole body of the carburetor shifted a little bit, and the body was hanging open. So when I fired, it would go right to full throttle. And my crew chief, Mark Gerard, does an excellent job. He came out here and grabbed the needle nose, and we got her fixed, and we're ready to run.
We got to get it back there now.
Okay, I'm sorry. Got to go, Chris. Thank you very much.
Good luck.
We're here to win.
It's a treat anytime you bring a microphone and a camera over to the USA 1 pit. Hey, when we come back from this break, we're going to find out if Master of Disaster can make it 2 in a row. More quarterfinal round action is just around the corner. That's the new air-conditioned Clydesdale model here on Tough Tracks. You can see the sheet metal stripped away. In case you're just joining us, you missed a wild one earlier. Wild hair smashed into Bennett Clark in the Clydesdale. In qualifying, Clydesdale rolled over, but Bennett Clark put it back together, came back and won his first round matchup, but he's got himself one man-sized task now. He will take on the defending world champion equalizer and a rapidly improving young driver in Greg Holbrook.
Scott, I noticed something. Look at these vehicles right behind the driver's head. There's tie wraps holding the door together on both of these trucks closer to the camera. Plastic tie wraps holding on. The kid from Tennessee goes out trying to hold on Clydesdale. He doesn't. This kid is looking super tonight.
Running for the Texas Cup tonight in Texas Stadium, the equalizer is trying to serve notice that you're going to have to go over him to take the win. Look at the equalizer. He blew away Clydesdale and toughened up. Big run right there for Greg Holbrook, and is he looking good. Well, hey, this next quarterfinal matchup will pit two of last week's finalists with the Buffalo Tremor. John Kwasniewski will face Scott Stevens in the Auto Value King Crunch Special, and last week's winner, Doug Spanier, the master of disaster.
Well, if you saw last week's show, you saw these three trucks going every direction possible. The master of disaster did pull out a win, but well, everybody had to work for it. Look at Stevens comes out of this lane. Disaster holds out him a little bit. Stevens trying to pull back. Auto Value GMC takes the win.
Boy, that was a dandy run, and again, a lot of that bucking Bronco action for Doug Spanier at the end of the run in the Master of Disaster. We're going to get a look at it again as they loved it in Texas Stadium. The Auto Value King Crunch got the win, but Master of Disaster got a lot of jumping action.
Look at the whole shot now. Actually, his middle lane is out, but Stevens comes back on him by staying closer to the car. See, he got down on the cars quicker, putting the horsepower to work for him, Scott.
So the quarterfinals are done, and we are down to the 9 trucks that will try to make it to the Monster Smash Final. We'll come back with the semifinal round from Texas Stadium in just a moment. 9 trucks advance to the semifinals of the TNT Monster Truck Challenge's first ever 3-lane racing. Our first matchup will send the Master of Disaster against Tough Enough in USA 1. Then it's Clydesdale, Equalizer, and King Punch. Bigfoot 4 still is alive. They'll come out to race Carolina Crusher and Nightlife. The 3 winners go to the Monster Smash Final. This is the guy who won it all 1 week ago when for the first time ever, Monsters ran 3 at a time. Doug Spanier and the Master of Disaster. He wants to make the finals again. To do it, he's going to have to beat Steve Wilkie in USA 1, and Wilkie has flat been letting it all hang out tonight. The other truck will be tough enough with Pablo Cruz.
Scott, this is the only race that counts tonight, because if you don't win here, you don't go to the final, you don't have a chance to win. Look at this. Wheels up, start like a pro sucker. Master Disaster, come out of the left lane. Wilkie close the door in the middle. I don't know.
Master of Disaster got it. And Army, it was a strange race. Master of Disaster pulled it out of the hole, but USA 1 actually had the lead, or appeared to, when they hit the second set of cars. Let's really look closely at this replay. Well, here's the finish.
The bounce. The bounce keeps coming back to win or lose by a bounce, Scott.
There you see it, half a wheel length.
Poor Pablo on the far side, he's working for a living too, isn't he?
Nose dove in on Tough Enough, but the Master of Disaster comes away with the victory.
Doug Spanier is your middle name. Won't give up.
Won't give up. Had a really crummy start tonight, but it seems to be looking pretty good right now.
He's trying to make it 2 in a row. You know, he'd love to leave Texas as the only man to ever win a 3-lane monster truck event. He could do it if he wins tonight. Clydesdale hanging in there, ready to go against the Equalizer, the defending world champion, and the Auto Value King Crunch. Crunch likes to save a little. He can't save any here, but the Equalizer's the favorite.
Watch Greg Holbrook. This kid is too quiet for me. Bam! He's let that truck do the talking, and he's going to the final. The final's going to have 2 Chevrolets. I don't know who's going to be the third one there, but Chevys are looking good in Big D.
I'm going to tell you, watching this last round, if I'm Bob Chandler, I'd be calling the TNT people in there and say, what are you talking about dominating? Equalizer's dominating tonight. He beat that field in a couple of good trucks by over a length.
Okay, now really, he did not leave on the starting line with him. He powered it back, and the truck was settled. And You got to remember, he used to race ATVs. That's his background. And boy, it sure seems to work, Scott.
He's adapting to monster racing real quick. Well, there is the newfangled reverse gear for Bigfoot as they push him to the starting line. And John Pyatt will try to put the big Ford into the Monster Smash final. To do it, though, he's going to have to beat two bad Chevys.
Bob Chandler himself was out helping a truck. Now look at the lineup. Gary Porter out of North Carolina, the Carolina Crusher, Chevrolet. Then you got Bigfoot sitting in the middle with Pine doing the driving, the new rookie driver for Chandler's operation, and the privateer out of Nebraska, the Nightlife of Dave Wysorek. Anybody can win, but the winner does go to the final. Scott, you take the call.
Here we go, 3 at a time, showtime. Nightlife got a good start. They're even to the second set. It's Dave Wysorek and the Nightlife Chevrolet.
The privateer.
He does it. Dave Wysorek will move in to the Monster Smash final against the Equalizer, the defending world champion, and the defending champion here in Texas Stadium, the Master of Disaster, and he won it on the second set.
Got all three of them look like a precision flying machine coming across those cars. Isn't that beautiful?
When we come back, the Monster Smash final. One week ago, we decided the final between the GMC, the Ford, and the Chevy. But this week, no extra invitations. It's Chevrolets only. The battle for the Texas Cup sends Master of Disaster up against Equalizer and Nightlife. Texas Cup will go to Tennessee as Greg Holbrook powers the defending world champion Equalizer to an impressive victory over the Master of Disaster and the Nightlife Chevrolet in the Monster Smash final.
Once again, he did not lead first, but he just powered it right on through. Gary Cook has got a winning combination once again, Scott.
Army Armstrong working his way over to the winning driver, Greg Holbrook, and the man who built the Equalizer, Gary Cook.
Greg Holbrook, what a Cinderella story. Go ahead and take your trophy. That's fantastic. Gary, congratulations to you. It looks like you've again picked you a super driver for this truck.
I had a lot of faith in him. I thought he could do it.
You know, you got to be the quietest young man in this sport, but you really carry a big stick. I'm awfully proud you're here with us. Congratulations on winning this first ever Texas event. Hang in there, son. You're going to be a star.
Thank you, Army. I just needed a little experience under me, and I knew I could do it.
Tell you what, you guys are definitely hot and heavy in this thing. We'll be watching the rest of the year. Congratulations again.
Thank you, Army.
Now, there's a scary thought for the rest of the monster truck racing world. Greg Holbrook needs more experience. Here's the replay, Army.
Well, every run he gets better and better. And look at the other two trucks. They're running him hard. Both of those drivers have nothing to be ashamed of. This kid is just dialed in with Gary Cook. The hot hand again could be the Equalizer.
A full-length victory over Nightlife, Master of Disaster, really comes out of the 2 weeks in Texas with the best overall finish. He had a first and a third. And Equalizer is back on top. Here's the Restore Automotive Products point standings. Equalizer and Greg Holbrook leading Bigfoot by 4. The auto-valued King Crunch loses a little ground, but he's still very much up there. Carolina Crusher holds 4th. Awesome Con now 5th. USA 1 6th. Gravedigger has slipped back to 7th. Then Buffalo Tremor and Nightlife are tied for the 8th spot. And Mike Wine's brand new Outlaw holding into the top 10. He is now number 10, and he has said his goal is to finish in the top 5 for 1990. There you see the presentation of the trophy. The Texas Cup champion is Greg Holbrook and his truck owner, Gary Cook. The Equalizer wins it at Texas Stadium. It's been a wild 2 weeks of action and history made on the TNT Monster Truck Challenge. You know it's always historic action when you follow it right here on Tough Tracks. For Army Armstrong and Chris Chapman, I'm Scott Douglas. We'll see you next week here on Tough Tracks.
Homeowners, are you tired of shouldering that big mortgage? Well, you can find out how to cut it down to size on Money Wise Sunday morning at 10:30. Up next, it's Unsafe in the Big Valley here on TV2.